version of you. Your journey starts today. You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you. Empower life with
Hello, everybody. Hello, good morning, good
Hello.
afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Listen, guys, I cannot begin to tell you how excited I am about tonight's show. And I can already see some people in the chat. Ooh, Maureen, you're here already. I love you, sis. Mwah! To you, girl. Hilarious Pets, he or she, or they have already made a comment in the chat, and they said, I've been single for a long time and afraid to fall in love again because I've been heartbroken so many times. It's hard to trust anyone or find true love these days. I mean, I've replied to them, but I want you guys in the chat also to comment on that comment from Hilarious Pets. I've said to them, thank you for joining and sharing. We've been there. We've all been there. So I can empathize. Hopefully, tonight we can find the answers to some of the relationship questions we've wondered about. So sit tight and you're in for a treat. Guys, just like you are in for a treat tonight, guys, because tonight, my, all I can say is pause everything you're doing because what you are about to hear will flip the table on everything you thought you knew about love, faith, and modern dating. Okay, now let's talk about it. Is modern love broken, guys? First, a royal shout out to all my amazing subscribers. I love you. I appreciate you so deeply. Thank you for being a part of this movement. Yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, come on now. Just what are you waiting for, my loves? Just subscribe. It's free. Just show me love. All right, and let's grow this tribe together. All right. Listen, even before we do that, child, can you guys see this? Can you see this? Can you see this? I want to see if you can see this. Can you see this?
Yeah.
This is my Empower Royal mug. Woo-hoo, child.
Wow.
Let me go closer. Can you see the crown?
Yes.
And this is going to be for all my royals who subscribe to the channel. If you're watching for the first time or if you've been here before and you invite at least 20 people to subscribe to the channel, you're going to get this in the post. Look at this beautiful baby right here, right? Back and forth, it's got the crown because you are all royals. You should be treated like one. Look at the inside. Oh my days. And all my guests are going to get one as well. Hey. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. I've got fantastic guests with me tonight. Listen, like I said, subscribe if you haven't done so already. We had a guest that was supposed to join, but they're having some issues about transportation and stuff like that, traffic. So please, bear with us. She might be joining anytime if she can. But if you're going to watch this as a replay, please feel free to, invite somebody and also watch it till the end. Don't just watch and then just leave it halfway. Watch it to the end because YouTube needs to push this to the next person who's searching for answers. All right. And if you've got any thoughts or any ideas of how we can make this show better, or you've got a confession to make, guys, slide into my DM, okay? Empower Life at Cleopatra, Empower Life with Cleopatra at gmail.com. Because tonight we are diving head first into the real, raw, unfiltered chaos of modern love. Let's be honest, guys. Today looks, exciting on the surface. I know we've got these endless options when it comes to dating. You've got these instant messages, you got filters, you got DMs, you got likes, you got swipes, late night swipes, Tinders, and all those other things. Yeah, love is just a click away nowadays. Oh, well, that's what we think. But beneath that glossy surface lies a confusion. right? There's heartbreak, there's confusion. Like Hilarious Pet said earlier, the first person that came on the chat, like they said earlier, there's so much confusion, there's so much heartbreak, there's ghosting, there's emotional burnout, and people chasing an illusion of perfection that doesn't exist, right? And if you add faith to the mix, and suddenly Christianity or Christian dating becomes a war zone. Right? You have purity versus passion, prayer versus pressure. You've got this tug of war between values of heaven and the temptations of the world. You know, so many believers feel torn. They're desperate to honor God, and yet they crave this connection. In a culture that glorifies convenience over commitment, right? And then there's this single parents as well. you know these are like warriors, they are survivors, people who've been through a lot in relationships, and they're trying to balance hope with heartbreak. And they're not just dating for themselves, they have to date with their children's heart on the line as well, right? So they have got trust, fear, stigma, resilience. Every decision they make is going to be twice as much as important as if they was just single, right? And then let's talk about the wild jungle of online dating, guys, right? In a world where every smiling profile could hide a secret because you just don't know who is who. Yeah. One moment you're chatting with your dream match, and the next you're ghosted, you're catfished, you're scammed, or worse, you know, it can be somebody who's a serial killer. Behind every promise of love might lurk manipulation, deceit, danger, and finally, sex before marriage, a topic that divides families, faith, and generations. Some call it freedom, others call it sin. But either way, it's shaping the way we love and trust and connect. So tonight, we're not going to sugarcoat anything. All right. We're not going to, there's no filter, no diplomacy. We're just pulling back every layer and asking the questions people are, kind of like skeptical to ask. Right. We're not going to be afraid to confront them tonight. Right. And I'm not taking this journey alone, guys. There's no way I can tackle this alone. So I brought some powerful fire powers right now to help us look at this, right? First of all, Mercy was meant to be here. So I'm still going to introduce her just in case she still turns up, right? She's fearless. She's a bold advocate and a speaker known for her uncompromising honesty on faith. She's got over 24 years in health and social care. She's the powerhouse of the foundation called One Life, One Love. And she's been helping to transform vulnerable lives across London and beyond. All right? Next, say hello, guys, to the fierce, fabulous Ronika Bailey,
Hello.
otherwise called Ruth, right?
Yes.
Right, look, after serving in the Metropolitan Police, Ronika spent nearly 30 years witnessing every corner of human behavior, from the heartbreaking to the hilarious, right? Her perspective on love is unfiltered, unconventional, and full of hard-won wisdom. And oh, guys, listen, if you've got any pets, hide them. Her love for anything feathered or furry or four-legged far outweighs her tolerance for humankind, okay? And we love her for it, There are people who love pets like that, and we just absolutely adore her for it. Now, bringing intellect and insight and ever versatile, we've got Jules Ekwanife, a filmmaker, cybersecurity expert, corporate trainer, a railway instructor, health and safety analyst, and a PhD researcher in public health care. Now, Jules is a walking encyclopedia of wisdom, and tonight he's bringing his deep insights into the dating arena. And last but certainly never the least, the charismatic Gary Bailey, a proud father, soon to be grandfather again, with 18 years in engineering and tech, managing data centers across the UK and the EU. Obviously, he's a gadget freak. Everything about his home is Alexa and Siri and all those other things. He loves his gadget. He loves to travel and analyzing human behavior as well. And he's gloriously allergic to anything unnecessary. Okay. So, my royals, make some noise and help me welcome my incredible guest tonight, because tonight we are dissecting, we are debating, and we are detonating the truth about modern love. So, welcome, my guest. Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, let me see who is in the chat before we ask my guests the questions. Maureen, thank you. Bumi, thank you. Robin, thank you. Fidelis, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. You said you commented earlier before. Okay, I haven't seen the comments. Hi, Mike. Who's Michael Equinufe? Michael, is that your brother, Jules? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, thank you all for joining. So let me go
Johnny,
right
Johnny,
into
all the
it.
way from
Okay.
Asia.
Let's
From
let's
where?
set the room on fire, literally now, right? With the first question that everyone has been dying to ask: why has modern dating become more about swiping rather than connecting? Gary?
You would pick me first, wouldn't you? We use the word become like it's a recent thing. It's not a recent thing. It's been going on for many, many, many years. I think it's when you say become, it's more kind of an extension, a continuation of lockdown as well, because so many people are on social media. Oh, hi, Mercy.
Hello,
Hi.
Messi. Thank you for joining.
Um,
Hi,
um,
Mercy.
Trying to make it work. Trying to make it work.
That's really
That's
good
all
of
right.
you.
and
Hello, Mercy.
I think social media platforms just makes it easier. It's not the best thing to do because you don't get that energy, you don't get that spark, you don't get that physical. When you're there in front of someone, you can't. Communication, facial expression is a massive thing in communication, and you don't really get that through social media and stuff. And so it's not the best thing, but it's convenience, and I think
Right.
that's one of the reasons why it's become a lot more common than the conventional going out and meeting people. It's just down to convenience.
Convenience. Okay. All right. That's fine. Uh, Mercy, thank you for joining. Next.
Hey, sorry for the lateness. One is locked outside, but we'll make it work. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's there are so many different social media platforms, right? And now the truth is that if you're not caught on one, you're caught on another. So if someone doesn't see you, let's say on FB, they may see you on TikTok, and people are sliding into DMs all the time. And it's coming out of a long-term relationship. There's just so much out there, and it's a scary world. That's all I can say. It's a really scary world because what you see to be true now is no longer true. What people post and share is no longer true. And I'll give you an example. I was on this Christian dating website, and I saw, funny enough, been on it for years, and it took me back about 7 years to when my cousins first set it up, and they came back and they reignited this thing, and I'm like, why am I getting all these messages all over again? And what happened is the person that posted 7 years again, for some reason, they've got short. Like, and I thought that's not the same image you showed 7 years ago, not knowing that they were short then and they're tall now. And I thought to myself, how comes they've gone tall all of a sudden, not knowing it was an AI image? He just put his head
Oh
on
my
an AI image. I mean, what are you to believe? It's scary out here. So
Chat.
yeah, and that's a truth. The person that put their changed their body, and it's like they were standing in the gym looking all nice and fit, not knowing that the fit was not real.
It's
So
superimposed. He's superimposed
yeah,
head on his body. Oh wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he was in the gym, so I thought it was real, and I was thinking, oh,
Ooh,
ooh,
nice.
it looked nice. But it wasn't real. So yeah, I mean, I think we might delve into it a bit more, but
Yes,
yeah,
we will
I'd
definitely.
say
We
it's a
will.
scary world. It's a scary world right now in the dating field.
Okay.
Sorry, Cleopatra, just on that, Mercy, have you ever experienced where someone looks quite nice on social media and you meet them, as in physically go out and meet them, and they are absolutely stunning, as in very handsome or very beautiful, or so much better than their actual profile themselves? Is it
Never.
No, I haven't come across that one yet.
No.
I
No.
can't say I have. I'm
Never,
not
Gary,
ever,
Gary,
ever.
social
Gary,
media.
can I take it from there? Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Gary, what you're talking about are people who are photogenic or people who are not photogenic. There's some people, when you look at their pictures, they look absolutely different. True color of people, when you pick up a picture and try to do a diagnosis on it, when you take the actual passport picture, that's when you get the real picture of who the person is, and the mix shifts. Like now, we've got a lot of female who turn to male, and you cannot differentiate due to makeup to know who the person is. Like when I was in railway, I worked in railway for 18 years. I met a couple of guys who were for agents, like some couple of agents. Let me not call the name. The guy is actually a full-blown woman now.
Oh, wow.
He was a guy when he came into Southeastern, and I worked with him. No, I worked with him in Liverpool Street Station, you know. And later on, I worked with him in Victoria Station. I could barely recognize him when he moved into Victoria Station. Or like, I know this lady, but looks like a guy. Someone got talking like, don't you remember me? Blah blah blah. Oh wow, wow, is that you? So you can
Wow.
imagine if I had the guy's passport picture and the recent time picture, I can only differentiate from few features. The teeth, the dentals won't change, you know. So if I
Mm.
try to search the guy, I would like to search his dentals and search his
Ain't nobody
eyes.
looking at teeth though. I mean, I do get a lot of people say, "Oh, your teeth, your teeth." I've always had from young people complimenting my teeth, but
The
I also
looking
think
of the teeth is quite different from when you're looking at someone's profile. Like
I
what
know.
I
But what
do,
I'm
like
saying is,
what I do that helps me a lot. You know, being a side investigator and doing a research in a couple of stuff, I like to look deeper, and I don't take it on the face value.
but
Sometimes
do you do that when you're dating, Jules? We're talking about date. You do that in this dating world,
it's affecting
like
everything right now. It's a circle. You see, you remember those phrases that say what you order is different from what you get. It's still part of the dating. I can order Roots and I get Grace. So sorry, Mercy, not Grace. I can order Mercy and I get Roots or get Cleopatra, whatever. And when it comes, like, I don't know where
you
it's coming
should
from
be so
because
lucky. You should be so lucky. Hey,
Wait,
no,
hello.
I,
Honestly.
we're talking
Well
about
done.
dating
Well
here.
said.
I told you this earlier. You got three beautiful women here, right here. You should be
right,
honored and privileged. Okay.
right.
Yeah,
End
very.
of. Now, Ruth, please take it away.
No, no. I went on the dating apps because I was in a really long relationship, and then we broke up, and then I just didn't go out, into the social. I didn't have organic sort of meetings or anything like that. So I thought I'll go on the dating apps, and that was probably the worst thing I've ever done, to be honest, because it was suggested to me to just find about 4 dating apps, put yourself on it. The first one was a big mistake because it was ALD. I didn't know what ALD stood for, but unfortunately, it was a hookup dating app.
Uh,
And yeah,
Really?
the hookup. And I didn't know that because I'm completely new to all this stuff. It was a hookup dating app. So the next morning, I woke up to 385 erect. You know what?
Ooh,
That
child.
mhm.
was the first thing.
You
That's the
you on
first.
a hot you on a hot package, huh? You hot enough.
That's the
Okay.
first thing. And then I thought, oh my goodness, I work for the police, I work in a school, get my name off this app. And they said, once you put your name out in the, one of these webs, you can't get it off. It's all I know, you can't take it
It's
off.
shared, yeah, it's shared, it's shared, yeah. That's it.
No, it's there forever. So I didn't put
They
my
really want you
body.
to get
I
it
put
off.
my face. I put my face being completely innocent, thinking or whatever. But unfortunately, people can see my face. They can see that my name is on a hookup site and it's there forevermore, which is probably really really bad. But also, as I said, for 4 years. I wasn't going out. You know, you lose your you just lose yourself after a relationship, don't you? And so I wasn't going out. So I thought the dating apps is the best thing for me. Ignore the ALD one. I think that doesn't exist anymore, that hookup one. But the other three were nice. And
You shouldn't have said that. Jules was about to go and look for you.
No, no. If I see
You were
her
waiting for
as a
details.
Oh,
You
no,
were
if
I,
I
waiting for
see her as a
details,
hooker,
Ruth.
no,
I'm
if I
not.
see her as a hooker, I won't even, I would just say hi and run away. You know, most of this hookup side, you know, what you need to do or what you need to know, they give you option not to put your real name. They give you option to put a
I was
name you would like to be
completely,
called
How do you know? How
I
you
was
know? How you
completely
know, Jules?
naive. I was
How
because
you
completely
know?
naive.
I search for them because a lot of miscreants use that to take money off people.
Of course, yeah, I know. I was
Yeah.
completely naive. That was the first time I've ever been on a dating app. It's just that I was on my own for 4 years. I was single, not even a hug, no kisses, no nothing. And I was craving. I was
You
craving
want to
some
go kisses?
love,
Oh,
organic
please, Jules, let's not go there. Okay.
No, no, I'm not giving. I'm not offering. I'm not offering. No, 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 wait. I
Listen,
just
I
asked. She
missed
just said
that.
something. She
What did
needs
he
a
okay,
say?
hug.
this comment.
That
She
little
needs some
brother here,
kisses.
don't let him come for you, Jules.
What did he
Who?
Don't let him
say?
come for you.
Say?
Don't let Gary come for you, yeah?
What do you mean,
By the
Gary?
Gary?
way, if you didn't notice if you didn't notice the surnames, they are siblings. So watch your mouth now, Jules.
I
Your
missed it.
brother
What
are
did he
gonna get you.
say? I missed it. What did he say?
Okay.
Because I was too busy talking. What did he say?
I say you're beautiful.
Oh,
Oh no, you're no. I see what you're saying, Cleopatra, about what Gary don't come for you. That's my sister.
Yes.
No, I get
That's
That's
that.
what
I
I
get that.
said.
I get that. But Gary is not going to marry his sister, and neither his sister going to marry him. So let's take that off
But
the
he will
hook.
protect her. So
Yeah.
you
Oh,
try
oh,
it and you'll
protection.
find out
Yes.
what he will
he
do.
does his
I
protection. He's
don't.
We
I
are
don't need
all.
to.
We
Trust
are
me,
all
I don't need
adults.
to.
Yes. Yeah. Protection. Right. If she needs it, but she's a protector herself, so she doesn't need Gary to protect her.
Okay. Listen, let me take these comments from the chat and then I'll go on to the next question. Right. So yeah, once again, thank you for everyone who's joined. Robin says, with so many challenges, everyone has at the moment being single removes one volatile element and potential stressor. Well, if you're single, it means you're okay. With so many challenges, everyone has at the moment being single removes one volatile element and potential stressor. So is dating us is it stressful, Robin? Right? Explain yourself, Robin. Is dating stressful? And Fidelis says, "Hey, Cleopatra, I commented earlier before the show began. Oh, unfortunately, it didn't show here. I'm so sorry. Comment again for me, please, Fidelis. Yeah, I would love to hear from you. Michael, thank you for waving. Akin, thank you so much for joining. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Mr. Solomon, thank you for joining. Fidelis, thank you. Boomy, everybody. And Robin says, those swipe apps are the worst. They
yes.
are treating everyone like a commodity. You are reduced to being a product on the supermarket shelf. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon says,
Definitely.
it's the times we are in, as women are quick to accuse men of harassment. So men are no longer free to stop women for a chat like in the days of old. So a third party like a dating site is now needed because I guess you have a point because nowadays if you I mean those days people would say, it's okay to I mean I used to get a lot of wolf whistles, like, woohoo, look at you, hey girl.
Wow.
I
That's
get, I
because
used
you
to get that
fine.
look,
That's because you
wow, because I
fine.
loved it. All right? I'm not
And
gonna.
you still
I have no
fine.
shame. I have no shame. I loved it. I love it when they said that. I'm like, hi, Now they don't
You
do
for
that
real?
anymore because they're afraid I'm gonna sue them to say they harassed me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's not nice. So I hear what my brother is saying, right? Dr.
About
Harry
20 years
says,
ago, I used to get that. I don't get that anymore. But I welcome it now. I welcome it.
do you know what I mean? Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Dr. Sunny, for joining. O'Day Tacey, thank you
Hey,
so
Dr.
much for
Sunny.
joining. So a dating site is now needed for a swipe to find a mate. Robin says, too right. It is stressful being treated like a commodity and being judged from start to finish, and everyone wanting 110 perfection on every front. And black man is fair says men are about problem solving. Okay, how are men about problem solving? Please explain yourself. But while you're doing that, I'm gonna go right into the next question. So, why are or would I say, what are the biggest challenges single people face in today's dating culture? Obviously, there are quite a lot of challenges. And let's start with Jules very quickly.
Well, it depends on how you position yourself that you get challenged as a single person. For me, I think the safest thing for a single guy to do is just stay away, keep to yourself, do your job, go home, stay cool.
What, not
But
being,
once you're out,
not bothered to have a relationship? Is that what you're saying?
because there's a lot of temptation out there. Is either you get hooked or you get scooped. I don't want to be scooped like an ice cream. So, yeah, that's the truth. Just keep
Okay.
yourself. Sanity is very important. Your mental energy matters a lot
Mm.
because when the mental energy deteriorates, the mental health issue comes in. A mental issue is wide. Messi can testify to that. It's wide. It's crazy.
Okay. Okay. Mercy, apparently you can testify to that. Go ahead then.
Well, for the question that you asked,
Yeah.
I think really and truly, maybe being from the single woman side, people assume that you want to be in a relationship first and foremost.
Right.
And I do think there's like a vulnerability in it because, it's almost as if you're single, someone has to take you. Like, I got a question even today, someone messaged me and said, how comes a beautiful woman like you is single? And I said, well, some people are single by choice. Just because you can get a man, it doesn't mean you have to have a man. Just because you can get women, it doesn't mean you have to have a woman. You have to remember, and I think I learned this a bit late in life, that a relationship can make you or break you,
Mm-hmm.
right? It
Definitely.
doesn't
Yeah,
matter how
that's
you
true.
go into it, and when you put yourself with somebody, if your values do not align, then it's a waste of time. It's a
Mm.
waste of my life and your life. So all this kind of fumbling and picking up people's auras on the way and spirits on the way, inside that person, it's for me, it's like it's too much. Some people
Yeah.
think let's just have a fumble in between the sheets. No, I don't want you to fumble in between my sheets if you can't buy the bed, the post, the house that goes inside it, you know. Don't
That's so
don't come and
true.
fumble in my sheets.
You know something? We're gonna address that a bit later because we're talking about there's gonna be the question about sex before marriage. Okay. So I think that's a very good point, and we will address it later because that's a very good point you've made. But hold on to that thought, and then let me ask Ruth.
Um, I think in the modern world and why people are single these days is because they prefer peace.
Yeah, the
You're telling
challenge. Yeah.
peace because modern day you have ghosting, you have narcissistic people, you have people love bombing you and they think, oh, you're the most wonderful person, and then they turn nasty. I can't take. I'm not saying that I've been in a completely abusive relations. I've been in a beautiful relationship where it's organic and you're so in love and that you're. But unfortunately, my partner passed away. But I'm wondering, is there another person out there for me that will show me the same sort of love, the same sort of respect, without arguing, without calling the police, all that sort of thing? I just want, I find that the modern, I mean, I prefer to say single just for peace, I believe. I can't really think of anything right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I like peace in my life at the
Nice.
moment. I'm
And
not
that's
ready yet.
important.
I'm not ready yet. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Gary.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, is honesty. To be honest with you,
Mm.
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that's a massive one because you can forget about social media or secular, or sorry, not secular or physical. It regardless of how you meet the person, people put out there and say, no, I'm a sapiosexual, so I get turned on by someone's intelligence, and yet you
Mm.
meet them and then they don't
I'm
ask
not
you a single
intelligent.
question about yourself. They don't even delve into your mind
Mm.
whatsoever. And another thing, I think one of the biggest challenges is when you do things like social media and stuff like that. Going back to that as well, is it depends what you find attractive as well. If you see someone and you see a beautiful woman or a handsome guy, and what actually turns you on is the way they carry themselves. And I've met people before, and I've gone out there and seen the way a woman walks, and I'm like, she's so much more attractive than she looks on her feet, just purely because the way she walks or the way she stands, the way
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for talking about me like that.
Sorry?
Thanks for talking about me like that. Thanks.
This,
Was that you? Was that you talking about?
I didn't want to
I'm
mention
joking, Gary.
Gary's been very lucky because he says that he goes on these apps.
But to answer, the quick answer is honesty. I think that's one of the biggest challenges. The more you're honest with someone, the more you realise that so many people out there are dishonest to you.
But when you go on these modern dating sites, I'd say 99% of the people are not on the phone. And you've been very lucky. Not only have you gone on these dating sites and you've gone and met someone and they're more attractive.
Tell people we're business.
Is somebody phone on or something? I can hear a phone ring somewhere.
Not me. I can hear a phone ringing as well.
Buzzing.
Okay, I think it's Jules. Okay. Let me take this. Let me take this call. Sorry, these messages. While Jules sorts himself out. Right. So Robin says 2 rights. Okay, we've talked about that. Black man is fair. Black man is fair says, so women want to solve a problem or even put a band-aid on it. If they do, then they wouldn't mind transactional engagement. Transactional engagement, you're speaking in tongues, but there is. Let me continue because you got more comments. You said women are allowed to make their own decision. All men want is to know what man do you. What all men want to know is what man do you as the woman select. Yes, men assume women are female and are vulnerable in life, and men understand that one of them wants to be your man, and you take it on as a responsibility.
I think you need a translator to get that thing straight
Yeah,
out.
honestly, what is women's vision for society, a city, a town, a state, and hundreds to millions of people? Okay, Black man is fair. I'm so glad you're making all these comments, and I really love and appreciate you. But please break it down. It looks like you're very intellectual for us. So break it down so that people like us can understand better
He's using
what you're
French
saying.
to speak English.
Really love you for that.
Yeah, he's using French to
He
speak
agrees
English,
with you.
and
He
that's
says,
it.
Gary, he agrees with you. He says honesty. Yes, honesty. So he agrees with you. And he says women can't be honest. Black man is fair. Women can't be honest. Please now. Be gentle with us, black man. It looks like you are angry with women. But you know, some women are actually good women. You know.
Talking about that, you'll get someone being
Oh, sugar.
not a great guy out there, and
Yeah.
then someone like, say, myself thinks this, go on the dating site and stuff, and get tarred with the same brush as the person that treated them bad. And and do you know what I mean? I've come with good intentions, but I get tarred with the same brush, and that's quite a common thing, not just for me. I mean, for a lot across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people, you know, that go on the dating sites, they come with their prior baggage, so don't they?
A lot of people do, yeah.
A lot of them do, yes.
Yeah, with their prior baggage.
That's why they put up that sign in most dating sites that majority of the women that are here might be your neighbor. Do not disclose what you see.
Majority of the women or men, it goes both ways.
No, it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Be you a woman getting on the dating side or be you a man getting on the dating side. They always put up that because it's one of the new things they put on in the cyber searches. They find out that people use that to bully a lot of people. And people use that to get back to people. Like I know Cleopatra and I know you live around and I see you on that side. Then the next thing I start talking about you being on that side. Just like Ruth just said that she got in there, she got into the wrong one. And all of a sudden she didn't even know what it's all about. But I know what happened. She actually missed one or two or skipped one or two things when she was on it that could have helped her to put the name she wants to be called on that, or put the kind of picture you want to put in there, and that's going to stay there forever because those sites never come down.
They
They
never come
always
down.
upload.
I think I'm the only person that's got my face on there. Everyone else has their genitals on
Well,
there.
can't you
Exactly.
delete
What?
your picture?
Yeah.
Can't you delete your picture if you're leaving the site, for
You
instance?
can't
Can't you just
delete it.
delete your
It's there
profile?
forever. You can't
There's a
delete it.
profile.
Why,
The way
why
you
are they
set it
so
up.
fast to take picture of their genitals? What's that about?
Actually, Mercy, can you put on your Mercy?
I
Sorry,
don't.
Mercy. Can you put on your inside light because you're so dark, I can't even see you.
I know. I mean, it doesn't help that I'm already dark. But okay, let me see what I can do. Let me come off and
Yeah,
I'll
because we
see if I can
can't.
get more
Ain't
bright.
nothing wrong with that. There ain't
But
nothing wrong with that.
still,
Yeah, there's
you know
the
that
sweet berry, baby.
Cleopatra,
Black and
you know
berry.
that Messi is coffee colored. That's
I think this is about as
melanin
good
on
as
his
In
it's
the
teeth.
car,
gonna.
she's not even in the house. She's in the car, and she's somewhere away from the house, so
And
that's
that's what I'm
fine.
saying. So
I'm
it's
actually
it's
locked
it's
outside my house. I'm not.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've
All
been
right,
locked
let's ask
outside,
the
so
other. Let me
I'm
let me
making do with the car. This is as good as it's gonna get. I'm afraid.
It's all right. Not a
You
problem.
have
That's
to
Let
that's
me take these
perfect.
few
That's
comments.
manage
perfect.
my darkness today.
Let me take these few comments and then I ask the other question because I'm looking at time. Akin says, absolute madness to marry someone you have never had sex with. Total bonkers.
wow.
Uh, oh, actually, no. Let me take this one from Simi first. Mimi, it's Mimi. Mimi, thank you so much for your comment. She says every man thinks a single woman is desperate. Thank you for saying that. Right?
We're not
Mhm.
desperate. No one's desperate.
No, we're not desperate.
We're
Okay.
definitely
And
not.
it's even worse when you got kids, when you've got children. When you're
Yeah.
single and you have children, they assume that you're desperate for a man. Let me come
Yeah.
and be the father of your kids. Ain't
Empirically,
nobody asking you to do
empirically,
that.
when you talk about desperation, you need to analyze that word desperate because
Yeah.
men could be desperate at times, just like
Mhm.
it's vice versa. We
Yeah.
can't be looking at the gender issue when we're talking about things that affect both sides. It goes round. It cuts out for everybody. Desperation could be as the personer, not generalizing it. When
Okay.
we generalize things, it hurts me. I'm not talking about the male, and not am I talking about the female, but when people speak from their own in-depth or their own kind of knowledge, they try to generalize everything. I can't just
Okay.
because a woman hurt me and I tell the whole world that women are wicked. No, there's some circumstances that happen that get to the point that I was being treated the way I was treated, and I got hurt.
Mm,
And
Okay. All
it
right.
can
Let
happen
me
to
take
another
this chat.
person, but that the way it happened to me. But that don't
Okay.
generalize that women are bad, and
Okay,
neither
Jules.
would that generalize
Okay,
that
Jules.
men are bad.
Okay, Jules. Okay, Jules. Let me take this chat and I need to ask the next question. So Solomon says the problem for single dating now is no longer about love conquers all. It's about singles now having a sense of entitlement to the top 1% of the opposite gender people. They think they are now entitled to have. So maybe what they don't, because are you saying that women are not prepared to settle for less? Because I think every woman wants, the best, just the same way every man wants the best that they can find in terms of a relationship. So I don't see any problem as long as what you are looking for is what you are willing to also bring into the
mm,
relationship. You
right.
cannot say, I want a man who does this, who does that, who is this, who is that, and then you've got nothing really to offer in return. Because if you ask yourself the kind of woman you're looking for, w- you know, do you think you have what it takes to get that kind of woman? You know, Robin says, peace in my life. Yes, amen to that. Dating is the opposite.
It is so difficult.
Maureen says some men think they are doing a matured woman a favor by asking her out, which should not be the case. Exactly. I think Mercy said something similar earlier. They think they're doing you a favor, whether you're matured, whether you're single, they think they're doing you a favor. And sometimes they start acting as if, like they are the best instance, like you should be grateful that they're
Hmm.
dating. Oh gosh.
And that you should
I,
snap
I
them
think
up.
that goes
Like,
both
Why?
ways
why
as
are you not taking this?
well.
Like
Uh,
it's like you should snap them up. It's
Yeah.
like it's
uh, uh,
almost as if, it's almost as if am I breaking?
no,
No,
you're
no,
not
no.
breaking. Right on.
Okay. It's almost as if, Ruth touched on something before, that peace element. So as far as I'm concerned, if I already have peace, if I'm already a joyful person, if I already have energy and you come into my space and you want to take some of that, that's going to be a problem.
Mm.
100%,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
I'm already joyful, I'm already happy, I'm already, I bring the energy.
Hmm.
And so if you're starting to take some of that away, then yeah, now go work.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Emma,
well,
thank you
well,
so
well.
much for joining.
Cleopatra,
Hmm.
you might as well ask the lady that's talking about that. She can the other way around ask the men out. If
There are
it's
some women who ask
glorified.
men out. It's not a problem. There are women who ask men out. It's not. It's the
But
only
that's what I'm saying.
thing.
So if it's being glorified that asking the lady out is going to be a problem or trying to justify, trying to do them a favor, then vice versa, women should ask the men out and see what it feels like. Well,
Women ask men out.
there's
The
no
only thing
big
that
deal asking anybody out here because when you take somebody out or asking somebody out, you foot the bill. You don't get on there. Or some ladies even want to share the bills with you. I don't tolerate. I don't even go for that because it's my responsibility. When I say I want to take you out, I'll take you out for full.
Us,
And make sure that everything you need in that program, because it's a program that runs from item 1 to item 12. So I set the table and I arrange it. So when I'm asking you out, I make sure everything's all right and you feel good. That is something that's going to leave a kind of a sweet memory, a memento in your mind, so that tomorrow
You're
when I
not
say,
allowed to talk,
"Are you
please.
ready to go
Because I'm
out?"
on a talk.
okay,
Then
okay,
we all go out.
okay, okay, okay. We're gonna try and keep the answers as succinct as we can, just because we've got so much that we need to go through. And I want to finish taking these chats from my royals on the chats, these comments first. It's harder for a woman. Um, it's harder for a woman the older they get, the older they get also, but men accept their situation and levels, women don't. So you're saying that it's harder for women as the older they get, maybe you're thinking that maybe their choice range is more, it sounds like more compacted. It's not as, they don't have a broad range now of choices of men or whatever. Is that what you're saying? Please clarify yourself, Akin. And black black man is fair. Basically, women can say or do anything with a man that a man is in agreement with outside of sex. Anything outside of sex means someone is in love, and relationship takes man's heart and man being in love. Whew, child. Okay.
So sex is not the ultimate about relationship.
We will talk about that. Remember, there's a
It's
question for that later. Let's not go into that
yeah.
now, Jules. Akin says you should be able to delete your profile on any site. Apparently, in some sites you cannot. Akin, I don't know
cannot.
why. And
Yeah.
then let me just quickly take one or two, and then I have to ask the last question. Hi, Edith. Thank you for joining. Um, Akin says you should not want your best. You should not want your best. You should want your level, so you know your level. Mimi says everyone wants peace. You can only find peace within yourself. Don't let another person be responsible for your peace. 100%. Jimmy, thank you so much for joining. Jimmy says a lot of people are dating for what they can get as opposed for love, right? Hence, why people are weighing each other, I guess. If it's love, it should not be unconditional. Oh, sorry, if it's love, it should be unconditional. I agree with you, and I think my guests agree with you as well, Jules. Warren says if it goes the opposite way, of a woman asking a man out, especially in African men, I think she's still writing. They may probably even take you for granted. That's the thing, right? They may take you for granted. Um, and gosh, the comments are coming in, guys. You guys, I can't even keep up. Keep them coming in. Let me ask this other question while you keep them coming in, please. I love this. Yeah, I just love the engagement. Please keep them coming in, and I'll ask this question as well. Now, how does Christian dating differ from secular dating? For those who are Christians in the chat, please answer that. And also, for those who are Christians, my guests, Please answer that as well. And why is it harder for Christians when it comes to dating?
It's not
Uh,
hard. It's not hard for Christians
it's not
because the
hard.
same thing they do behind the doors, the same thing they do even when they are Christians. And the brother sister relationship, when you look at it very well, you find out that they are all committing without saying it. They eat and clean mouth. And you keep on wondering, what's the essence of being in this church when the choir master is wiping, swiping, hitting? Man, come on. Because they're all scared of him taking them out. And at the end of the day, some choir masters have been taken away because end up being responsible for one, two, three, or four girls being pregnant. One
Fragrance.
man, it's crazy. So I don't even really, I'm a Christian quite alright, but man, the things that happen in the Christendom, you wonder, is it what it's all about? Is it what it's
Yeah.
for? You know, so it's crazy. Honestly, I must say that.
Yeah, but let's not generalize. Yeah, let's now talk about, apart from the fact that that happens, what the challenges faced by Christians who are actually the good, some of the few good Christians. Why do they find it challenging, right?
The
When
challenging
it comes
part
to
of it
dating.
are the true Christians, the few Christians that are true to be Christian or be like Christ like.
Mhm.
They try to practice, but the challenge they have is that most people who they are interested in or want to settle their lives with, especially women, get
Okay, okay, Gary.
entangled.
I think when two individuals come together, there's going to be obstacles anyway. Yeah, there's going to
Yeah,
be some kind of hardships anyways. Regardless if you practice the same faith or you got similar beliefs or whatever. Yeah, with Christian dating, I suppose what you put in the mix is expectations because it's written that you have to be like this within
yeah,
a Christian relationship, or you got to live like this as a Christian person. And so when you then put that together with a relationship, yeah, then you're gonna have difficulties. So I think it would be slightly more difficult for Christians to be in a relationship than it would be for anyone else to be in a
yeah,
relationship.
yeah. Mercy.
I'm s- I'm struggling with connection here, but yeah, I think you're right, Gary, in terms of the expectation. And if you're really kind of going in the biblical sense, that it is biblical to say that there isn't that sex before marriage. That is biblical. You can't run from it. Okay. And sometimes I think that places an emphasis on how the relationships start, where one may be going along with it. The other may be singing something else and justifying some of their sexual behaviors, and that is the truth. I mean, I've been approached by what we would call our Christian brothers, and I would assume that you also agree that there's no sex before marriage, but that's not the case. And so I do think that it is about expectation and keeping it real. And I think the fact is that Christianity is a personal relationship. It's not about following the status quo. It's about how you follow the words, what you interpret it to be in terms of your relationship with God. So for me, I don't judge anybody when it comes to it, but at the same time, principles and values are what drives a relationship. If your values don't align, then there's going to be a problem. And I keep saying that over and over again. If you don't value having intimacy before marriage, then you're going to expect that the other person doesn't as well. So yeah, I think it is a bit harder. It is a bit harder being a Christian, and
Whether they drive the
like
relationship or drive what you expect in a relationship, I
mm,
think a little bit different.
What if
Ruth, yeah, go ahead, Ruth.
I was going to say, what if you're a born again Christian? Because your values will be slightly different. I think that people's values are different anyway. But if you're a born again Christian and you've dabbled in intimacy, so you don't have the same sort of beliefs that you did before, do you hold back because you go to church now and you decided that you're you know I believe that I think it's really
I think
difficult.
you do. I think you do, because the truth is that conviction is individual.
It,
Conviction is individual. Do you understand? And for me, like, I remember when I was younger and I was already in a relationship and we were intimate in that relationship. When I was on my journey to finding Christ, I ended that relationship because intimacy was for me something that was then meant for marriage. And I believe God intended it to be enjoyable, all the things that it needs to be, but within something that you understand there is an exchange, there's a spiritual exchange when you get yourself involved in intimacy. And when you understand that, that's when it takes a different, it's not just about the enjoyment part of it. There's a spiritual level to it then when you're born again. And I think that's the difference.
I see what you mean. What if you are
Sorry.
truly religious and you are a
Sorry,
Christian?
let Ruth finish.
Yeah.
Ruth, carry on, please.
So you are born religious and you are a true Christian and you have never engaged in intimacy and you decided that you want to get married and then you just don't gel. Doesn't matter what you do, because it has happened before. Somebody told me that it happens before, but not me. But but if you sometimes when you decide to wait for, you get married and then on your honeymoon it just doesn't work. What do you do then? Do you I don't know. What would you stay with that person?
Explore other sensual ways. Explore other sensual ways. I mean,
But you say something. You're saying that, but even the pastor will tell you no kind of other sexual ways,
it's
nothing
not the
whatsoever.
pastor's man. It's not you're not lying in bed with my man. You can't. It's between me and God and my man. You can't. My bed is undefiled. If I want to please my man the way I want to please my man,
No,
you
no, no,
can't
no,
tell me
no, no.
what
What
I need
pastor
to
is
do to
saying?
please my man.
Once
No,
you're
what the
married,
pastor is
anything
saying.
goes. But once you're married, anything goes. You can swing from the chandeliers. You can do.
No,
You
no,
can
no.
Yeah,
But what the pastor
have
is saying,
puppy
if you're
boys
dating,
from Love
if
Dot
that's
Com
what
or wherever.
tickles his fancy.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work though, Mercy. I can't imagine. I mean, I've heard of many stories where they were, they've never been intimate before and they got together and it just was horrendous. It was the worst thing that ever happened. Some of them, I mean, I work for the police, so I've got no filter whatsoever. And so when I've heard of people saying that they felt like they've been sexually assaulted. Some people have said that it just didn't gel, that sort of thing. I don't necessarily agree. I think you should dabble a little bit before you get married. I don't see any problem with that. I believe
I
that.
don't see nothing wrong. You sound like R. Kelly
I'd like to
with
explain.
a little.
Mercy, can I ask you a question?
What,
Mercy,
what,
if I am a virgin, right, and you,
Sorry.
why are you laughing? No, you don't need to laugh about it. I'm just being practical. I'm being as it
I'm just
is.
entertaining. I'm just entertaining. Don't take
No,
it
no,
personal.
I am a virgin, and it happens to be that I got entangled with you, and on the first night, I don't even know where to put it. How are you going to handle it?
Happened.
No, seriously, how are you going to handle it?
Really,
Because I
Joe?
don't even know where to start. I don't know where to
Really,
put it.
Joe?
No,
Really?
no, but
That's a question.
no. I'm asking you as a Christian person, and you don't explore
Okay, I
and you
can tell
don't
you the
check.
truth. I think there is an element of, you should be able to teach each other. Okay, and that's just bringing it back to the realness. Okay, you should be able to teach each other what
And
works for you sexually.
at
Yeah,
that point in time,
I
I
can
found
teach
out I have
you.
a low
You can
esteem.
teach me.
I
I
found out
agree
that
with
my I don't have libido because I don't even know, because the kind of work I used to do, I work in the chemical factory, which affects me. So this is not my fault.
Yeah, some of you
And
need the
some
touch
men
from
don't
the Lord.
even know that
Some
the
of us
work they
carry
do.
anointing to make dead
No,
things
wait.
rise.
No, wait, no, I'm being serious, sir. I'm being serious. Yeah, there's some
Some of us
men
you just
that,
need a touch. Yes,
no, seriously,
Lord.
no,
Mercy,
wait,
you're a woman
there's
of the
some men
world.
that work in some industry that don't know that it affects their mental health. They don't know that it affects their orgasm. They don't even know that it affects their
Get
genital
help.
instrument.
Get help.
No, they don't know. They don't know. But they keep
Okay.
working until they meet the woman. That's why they find out, oh, this guy can't even raise up.
Yeah, that's why I'm
You need to
still
take a
exposed,
lot of.
guys.
I think you both have a point. Yeah, there are things that affect the way you perform or the way you are, whatever. And Mercy, I think you have a very good point as well, that you should be helping each other. Yeah. So if the guy or the woman can't perform to their ultimate, if you like, the other person should be supporting them as their partner and help in any way that which they
There's
can.
no sex before marriage. So where do
Sorry?
you want to start helping me?
What do you class as sacred? Sex? or marriage? What do you
No,
class?
no sex before marriage. So how do you want to help me? How do you want to put me in the position to help me if we are not intimate? The
I don't
woman,
believe.
the
I don't
woman
believe
having a short fuse will focus on what is supposed to keep her
I
there.
don't
A
believe
woman that gets
marriage
into the bed
before
after a
sex.
wedding finds out that nothing's happening anymore will sign out.
You're talking
I
to
don't
you're asking someone who doesn't believe in marriage before sex. So
Okay, let me
yeah,
let me let me let me quickly just round up with this and then go to the next question because time is going. I would say, yeah, I have had a lot of experiences, yeah, from people telling me there was one time actually I went to a wedding. We were at this wedding for hours. We're like, where is the groom? Where's the groom? Finally, we were told that the wedding was cancelled. Why? They found out that the guy was gay and he
oh
just wanted to get
Oh,
married.
yeah.
He wanted to get married just to cover up so that his family and people just get off his back. That's number one.
I've
There's
met
been
a lot of
other
Yeah.
there's been other cases. The list is endless, right? There's been other cases where they decided, in fact, it was the man that was insisting, oh, I don't want to touch you. I respect you so much. I just
wow.
want to keep you and preserve you so that that night I will fire you, you know.
Story
Yes.
stories are touch a lot.
She
You're,
said, no
you're
problem.
exactly right. There's
Then
some
what
people being
happens?
sexually assaulted.
They get there, the
Yeah.
man is like this.
Oh no.
what do you believe in, Jules?
Huh?
Okay.
What do you believe in, Jules? Because it sounds a little conflicting what you're saying. So
No,
do you
no.
believe that there should be no sex before marriage?
No, Gary, you kind of misunderstood what I was talking about. The man should explore, and the woman should also explore, because there's
Double.
nothing like regret. You tie the knot, you tie the knot, you're done for.
Yeah.
Okay? Unless
Yeah.
you're tied the knot today, you divorce tomorrow. It doesn't make sense. Then
No,
what's the essence of the Christian?
no, I understand what you're saying. So
So why
yes,
be a
you
Christian? Do you
believe
get my
that
point? Yeah,
you
So,
should explore before.
so this
It's
is
yeah.
the challenge.
it's just that when you said there's no sex before marriage, it sounded like a statement.
No, I'm getting a statement from what Cleopatra said initially when we started the
Yeah.
talk. So I'm
So
trying
this
to
is the
resound
challenge.
it so I will know
Jules,
exactly where we're going.
Okay.
Jules, this is the challenge that we have now as Christians, because here you have, I have, seen and heard of relationships as well where the girl said to the man, no sex before marriage. The man said, okay, if you don't want to have sex with me, that's fine. But I want to have sex with you before I get married. I'm a born again Christian. I'm a Christian. But if you don't want to, I'll leave you alone. He went, found another girl, had sex with the girl, whatever, as many times as he wanted to, and then married the girl. And
Mm.
they're still married. Okay. And the one that said she didn't want to, have any sex before marriage, she's still single. And
Yeah,
there's been
still
cases like
happen.
that over
I
and
don't
over
think
again.
there's
So,
anything wrong with dabbling. I mean,
I don't see what I don't get is what is then sacred, sex
well,
or
well, this,
marriage? Because
well, see, this
if
is
you're
the thing
saying
that
you
I don't
can't do
think.
you if you're saying you can't have sex before marriage, then it's almost like people are saying that sex is the sacred thing because you haven't got a marriage certificate.
Well,
It,
the thing is,
it doesn't make
if
sense.
we look at it biblically, the Bible says sex before marriage is wrong, right? That the bed should be undefiled, right? That
Mm, mm-hmm.
you should not, because at the end of the day, when you have sex, it's sacred. You're transferring spirits, you're transferring souls, is a soul tie. So
That's so.
you cannot be sharing your soul with other men, and like for a woman having sex with multiple men and all that, and then all those spirits and everything are still in you when you come into a marriage, right? And
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. So spiritually and biblically, the Bible is true, is right, because I have seen cases like that also where women that had a lot of sexual partners or whatever, when they decided to now get married and they got married to this guy, as far as they were concerned, it just they still wanted to look out. Their
mm,
husband wasn't enough for them. Okay, you can look at it from different angles, right? The thing is, I mean, my royals, as there's so much everybody has. It's like everybody's so touchy about this topic. You know, uh, Akin says you got it right, Cleopatra. Solomon says it's the true. is true. Some single mothers are desperate looking for a man to make the contribution that they are not getting from the fathers of their children. Some illegal men can also be desperate too. Black man is fair says men want women to tell the truth. Men don't want any smoke or argument with women. It's Mimi says if you want the best, be your best. Um, and Maureen says, if a woman ends up asking a man out, especially in African men setting, she still ends up being classed as desperate. Very true. Jimmy says,
As before, not now.
oh,
Forward.
I don't know about this before because even some men are so immature. So I said some, I didn't say all men, because when you have a fight, they will turn around and say, after all, you asked me, what's your problem? You asked me out. What's all this? So
Vice
some men
versa.
are
Vice
immature.
versa.
Okay. No, but the woman cannot say that because usually the men are supposed to be the one asking the woman out. So if she says that, then she's silly as well. Jimmy says, no sex, no sex. It's the difference. Akin says, part of the problem is the church and mosque. I guess we're talking about sex before marriage. Black
Religion. Religion.
dating is like some high class mind type of thing, and men aren't high class men and are just natural men. Women have a fantasy world they want to be reality. Adisa, thank you. It's been such a long time. I haven't seen you for a while. Adisa, thank you for joining. Says, to my knowledge, scriptures do not state explicitly state that no sex before marriage. The problem is pastors, etc., who preach their own views on the matter. Ben, thank you so much for joining. Ben says the difference is the goal. The end should justify the dating process for Christians. So, in other words, you're saying as long as you marry the woman, you can have sex before marriage, as long as you marry her. So it's not like you just have sex with her and then you break up with her and then you go marry somebody else. Okay, that's the way to look at it. I don't know whether I agree or I disagree. I'm just leaving it as you have said it. Robin says, Mercy, you are struggling with connection here. That is the entire topic of all singles tonight. Everybody is struggling with absolutely. Absolutely. Someone says it's harder for Christians dating because it is based on the talk of no sex before marriage, as it is a statement of hypocrisy today because hardly any single person today is a virgin.
That's
And
true.
actually says, you cannot be asking for no sex before marriage when you are not a virgin. Okay. I am a middle-aged man and I want companionship, and sex is not involved. Be my friend. I don't need to be in a relationship with you. So I know a lot of men who have friends with benefits, who still get their thing on or whatever because they don't want any commitment. Is that what you're saying? I'm a middle-aged man and I want companionship, and sex is not involved. Sex is not involved. Be my friend and I don't need to be in a relationship with you. So in other words, sex is involved.
No, he says sex is not involved.
No,
He says he doesn't want sex. He wants a companion. That's all.
that's right.
So he
That's
might probably be gay.
based on what Aki and I has discussed before, I was trying to go by the discussion because he and I has had a discussion before about this kind of topic before. So I was
Okay.
trying to go by remember what he said. But if you're saying this is what it is now, that you just want companionship, sex doesn't have to be involved, then that's okay. I agree with you if that's what you're saying now. But you still say you find out on your wedding night that he cannot get it up. Ha ha ha. It's true. It's true. Jesus only existed 600 odd years ago. Christianity is based on Paul's letters, and he never met Jesus. Read your Bible. Oh gosh, okay, we're gonna go through this again because you keep saying this. I say it's joke. Man says to his new girlfriend, "How many men have you slept with?" Woman replies, "You are the first. None of the others let me sleep."
No, yes,
You're the one sleeping. You're the one sleeping with me.
hold on, no sex before marriage doesn't mean no intimacy, or in no physical contact. So
That's what I meant by you can dabble, because you can gain
yeah, because if you
relationship.
dabble,
Yeah,
I mean, if you wait until you're married,
yeah,
then the guy realizes he can't get it up.
yeah. But if you dabble,
I don't get that. So
if you become
if he dabbles
close,
and he can't get it up, then
Yeah.
he'll know before he's married anyway.
yeah,
No,
I think
what they
dabbling-
mean by sex before marriage there's no intimacy at all.
Is
Then,
what
then,
they're
there's-
saying.
then to me, there's no closeness. There's no spirit.
Yeah, you've got to build some sort of
closeness.
intimacy to a
You
certain
have to
extent.
That's why I'm against. That's why I'm against it. Even Jesus, before he was born, although the Holy Spirit conceived the mother, Joseph was with him. Joseph was with the mother. Do you understand?
Joseph didn't have sex with Mary, though.
They didn't have sex, but they were together.
Yes.
They were living together before,
I don't know
because
about living
Joseph.
together because in
No,
those days.
look
No,
at the
no, 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 no,
story.
no, no. No,
Look at the
in
story.
those
They were
days, I'm a
together, but they
Bible
were not
student.
in. Oh my
I'm a Bible
gosh!
student. Listen,
No,
what
they did.
happened normally, even in that tradition, she was only 14 years old, first of all, right? In that tradition, you cannot go to a man's house to go and stay with a man without that traditional marriage happening. After the traditional marriage, you can go and do what you like. So she was espoused or betrothed to Joseph, but she was not staying with him. So
Yes,
let's
but
clear that.
they were having contact. They were seeing together, but they
See,
were
it's
not
not,
having
it doesn't mean that
intimacy.
they're having
Yeah,
intimacy.
at least if you are betrothed to somebody, won't you see the lady? Won't you hold her? Won't you take a walk with her? So they dated,
Yes, they are
and
dating,
that
but
was
that
why
doesn't mean that.
The Holy Spirit said to Mary,
No, but
this
she
is what
was
is
a
going to
virgin.
happen. Even the Holy Spirit, the angel visited Joseph to tell Joseph that Mary is with a child. Do not cast her away. So
Uh-huh.
that means they were seeing. So if I see you tomorrow and find out you're 1 month pregnant, won't I shock my head out like, Cleopatra, where you get it from? So
Yeah.
he was
I
informed
don't know where
beforehand.
that's coming from. I don't know. I can't see the correlation between that. But let me quickly take these chats and then ask the next question.
Okay.
Edith says, "What do you then think of arranged marriages?" What do we think of arranged marriages? Um, some actually, I see what you're saying because usually arranged marriages they don't even have sex or do anything
They
together
don't
before
come together
marriage.
at all. They don't even
You
live in the
know,
same house.
it's a lucky dip, isn't it? You might be lucky together. You know, the man that pleases you, or you be stuck with somebody who can't even perform. I guess. I guess. Ben says some Christians are scared of being stigmatized, of getting in and not meeting up to the so-called sexual expectation um and for each other, I guess. Akin says she has experience and you don't, okay? um Jimmy says, Mercy, you can't teach what you don't know. Akin is laughing. He says anointing. I think that it was about you, Jules, when Mercy was talking about they will lay hands on you to anoint you. Someone says it is dangerous even if two people do do if two people do the no sex before marriage, because on the wedding night people have found their partners don't have the genital parts. Then what will that person do then? It's true. It's true.
They
It's
don't
true.
have the genital.
There was even a story I saw, and I actually saw this online because the man got angry. The woman was actually a hermaphrodite.
Yeah.
Oh
I heard that
yeah.
story.
Hermaphrodite. She had,
I heard that story far away, Ghana.
and the guy was angry because the guy said even her own thing is bigger than mine. Like how?
Uh-huh.
You know, but they didn't have sex because she said no, 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 no. They shouldn't have sex. Deepak says you can't test the merchandise before marriage. You must remember, as a Christian, it's your conscience that is born again. It's that conscience that will flood you with guilt on fornication and sin. So Dikbo is totally, thank you so much for Dikbo, for joining Dikbo. Dikbo says he agrees with total concept of no sex before marriage because you cannot test the messengers before marriage. So it's not a Christian thing to do. It's not biblical. Okay. Ben says, Akin, let's ask the woman to see if they will sign out. Why would they? Cleopatra, size is not an issue. Akin, sex is not the reason for divorce. I don't know about that, Ben. I don't know about that. Let me tell you something. The three most important things in a relationship or in marriage is communication, sex, and money. Okay?
Right? Basic,
One
yeah.
cannot do without the other. Okay? If you
When
have
there's
all
no
the money in
money,
the world,
there's no
you can't.
communication, there's no
Yeah,
sex. Forget it.
sorry.
In that particular order.
No,
Except
sex,
for me.
money, communication. Sex, money, communication. That is the way it goes, man.
Do you
Okay.
say money, sex, and communication?
Sex, money,
I
communication.
would say communication, sex, money.
Yeah,
That's,
definitely.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how I
no,
would
no.
say.
It shouldn't be in any other, but three of them should be in the same park.
Yeah.
Communication, sex, money, all of them, all in one.
Yeah.
I'll say communication first of all. You have to have
Yeah, if you don't
communication.
communicate, how are you going to have sex? If you don't communicate,
Exactly.
how are you going to get money from me?
Oh,
So
oh,
I say they are all in one pack. Yeah, you need to talk to me to get my money, and
so
we need
look,
to talk to have sex.
these chats are endless.
Yeah,
Uh,
so
Akin says, gosh, Shlomo says, talk of no sex before marriage in our today's world is it's no longer practical. Black man is
no.
first says, I don't care about a person's religion or care about their I care about their core character and treatment. I guess is what you're trying to see. Your
Yeah.
religion is for you personally, and I don't want to come in between your personal life. It doesn't involve me. Okay. Akin says, are you a virgin? If you are not a virgin, you cannot insist on sex on your wedding night. If you're not a virgin, so you cannot insist on no sex before marriage. I guess he's trying to say that you cannot say I don't want any sex before marriage if you're no longer a virgin. And Ben is having a go at me and says, Cleopatra, you can be in a soul tie without sexually involved in the person, which is true. I agree with you actually because sometimes even not having sex is a good thing, whatever. But sometimes you can be in an emotional soul tie with a man, right? And not necessarily have sex with him. And you say, because I don't want to have sex with you because I'm a married woman or because I don't want to, whatever. But the emotional soul tie is even stronger than the sex.
Very
Mm,
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
mm.
So Robin says, is sex before marriage a commandment? The answer is no. Sex before marriage is not a direct, explicit commandment in many religious texts. We want to know how you are. This is Black Man is fair now. We want to know how you are solving sex as a woman, and also how do the family women handle sex. I don't feel every woman is the same. And Robin says, i.e., no sex before marriage, a middle, a man-made construct, not grounded in anything. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Mm.
Fidelis, thank you for joining. Fidelis says sex before marriage is becoming outdated, but a man both must be focused on what they want out of the relationship. How many have God really punished for having sex before marriage? Not a lot, actually. I don't think God has punished a lot of people for having sex before marriage because a lot of people had sex before marriage. They got married and they're still happily married and everything
And
is
some of
fine.
them became pastors and pastor misses today.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. I
Is it
agree with
actually
you.
written in the script? Because somebody said earlier on it's not written in the script. And to be honest, I have read the Bible many, many, many years ago, and I've never seen that you cannot have sex before marriage. I've never seen that. Is it something that a pastor pushes
It's a
on you?
man-made, it's a man-made thing.
No, no,
It
no.
is a man-made thing.
The
I don't
Bible
think it's
says
actually in
flee
the Bible.
fornication. The Bible says flee fornication. It said because every sin that you do is outside your body. But the sin of fornication is your body you are defiling and
Hmm.
you are sinning
Hmm.
against your body
That's
because your
true.
Oh, I've
body
seen
is
it.
the temple of God, is the temple
That's
of the Holy
true.
Spirit. So do not commit fornication. So the Bible says it. The only
Yeah.
problem is that we Christians we want to kind of like find ways of reinterpreting it, but it's very clear in the Bible. It's very very clear. And like I said at the beginning when I was introducing it, is the problem is you want to please God because you want to stay without having sex, before marriage. But at the same time, you're a human being. You got blood running through your veins. You love somebody. You want to show them you love them. They want to express their love to you. You probably decide, okay, we're not going to get married for another 1 or 2 years, another. So that 1 or 2 years, we're just going to stay looking at each other and just, like, say, God bless you. You know, like how are you going to really have that closeness with each other? So that's the challenge we have. Look, this comments are endless. Robin says, didn't have intimacy. If you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. Every human lies. Recent examples, Clinton and Trump. There, Robin, there is no week you don't talk about Mr. Trump. Leave the poor man alone.
Can I say something? Can I say something? When I was working in my job, I
Yeah,
noticed that there was a lot of women that have to be a virgin, as in technically or biologically,
yeah.
you have to have your hymen intact. So there's many religions that found a way around it. They would do other orifices, so
Hmm.
Right.
your hymen is still intact, and so you still remain a
Ooh.
virgin, as it were. And so there's at least two It's true though. It's true, and we saw
No,
that a
no,
lot.
I'm not laughing. I'm laughing at
No, no,
Cleopatra
no,
going,
that's the
"Oh,
procedure. That's the
you thought
procedure.
that?"
I'm
But it's
shocked.
true.
I'm
They use
shocked.
No,
other
no, it's a
orifices.
medical procedure, They can be done
I mean,
to
get your
remain
hymen
intact.
We're not talking about
That's what I said.
medical procedure.
I've got no
You
problem.
say it again,
We're not talking about
Gary?
medical procedure, but I'm just saying it's the way Cleopatra went, "Oh,
Oh,
It's true. There's
I was shocked. I'm surprised. But I always say to people, I say to people that when somebody will ask, their girlfriend, have you ever done, whatever, and I'm like, listen, there's only one thing that's meant to come out of there. Nothing's meant to go in. I don't understand what you're talking about.
no,
That
but
is
that's their way
ridiculous.
of finding.
those are crazy. Those are crazy people, man.
I know
It
many
stuck
things
my
that
head.
I know many things that are very, very, very shocking. But they found a way of keeping your hymen intact, and you are still a virgin as such, vaginally. But I'm sorry, this is a bit deep. I know.
Lord have mercy. No, please say.
No, but as I said, so what they did it the other way, the other orifices, and then they can say, yes, technically, I am still a virgin. Yeah.
Ooh, Father
But
God.
they enjoy
Lord
sex.
have mercy.
They enjoy sex from the backyard, but they remain virgin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
A lady once told me if she knew what she knows now, she would have let any man make love to her directly from the vagina. It would have just taken from the backside. And I said, why? She said because she wants to keep her virginity intact. I said, you're crazy, man. You're
No, but it
crazy.
happens. It happens
Because
a lot more than you
because
think.
that
this is
other side is a dead end. The driving
define.
force.
Yeah,
You
but
widen
Right.
medically you're widening your the anus walls, and when they start getting weak, your intestine might actually start pulling out. So you can have pride from having such things. They don't even know. Some people go back to the hospital to get stuck, and they start stitching them up so they can afford to pass pieces. It's crazy.
Gary,
Yeah.
you were saying something.
No, I was going to say define virgin. So if
your hymen is intact.
okay, so
That's virginity, yeah.
when you say right virgin, as in does virgin come from the word vagina?
Yeah, that's it.
It does.
When you break
It comes
when
from
you
break it
break that hymen, the virginity is gone.
Yeah. But then again,
And in some tradition, they put egg. If egg can go in, you're not a virgin anymore. But if the egg can go in, that's all right.
But the
They
thing
have
is,
ways to test it.
sorry, I don't mean to
But
interrupt. But there's operations where you can actually have your hymen reattached. So if you're in a certain culture, for example, and then require your daughter to be intact, then there are operations where you can reattach your hymen.
But what if they react? Okay, this is crazy. I've never heard that before. But what if they reattach the thing? Okay, you burst it open, but the place is like River Babylon, like it's still.
No. It's a structure. It's a structure. No, it's a structure. It has nothing to do with labia. It's got to do with the uterus. So they stitch it and they come back together. So it becomes tight again. So
No, but
when
I'm talking about the walls of your girl. Like
it's
they
still
can stitch the hymen and it's tight. But
yeah.
this girl has been around so many times, so many people or whatever, and she's carried all kinds of sizes. The place is still open, so you can.
They're still gonna stitch it. They're still gonna stitch it. Yeah.
Are you going to
They
stitch
stitch
the
it.
entire?
They stitch it to the centimeter. The diameter of the oval has got a kind of setting measures where it should be open or not open. So when you hear "poa," it's broken again. So you can actually lose the virginity the second time.
Okay.
Women need to clench. You must continue to clench. Always clench.
Okay, clench, right? You see, listen, I did a show. Guys, go back to my chats. You will see there's a show I did about how to keep your vagina or your girl happy.
Right.
Yeah, when you're not having sex, okay? And I talked about the Kegels exercise about squeezing your girl,
Mm-hmm.
leaving it a little bit, and then leaving it. So go back and watch that. You'll see what Ruth is trying to talk about. But we digress. Okay. You can't have sex without communication verbally, and you can take money without it too. If they know your account details or know where your wallet is,
That is stealing.
that's
That is
rubbish.
stealing. That's stealing because communication can be like eye contact. You want money? How many figure? Use your
language.
finger to say it. Give me 5. Give me 10. So it's all still communication. You don't need to verbally talk to get money
Yeah,
from someone. Yeah.
yeah.
Most sex is body language anyway, isn't it?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sonny says, interesting chat, guys. This just says, don't want to be contentious, but in Old Testament, God sanctioned sex between numerous people not married, e.g., Noah and his daughter, and many other examples. Dikwa says, if Joseph had slept with Mary, forget it, God would find someone else without blemish. Sex is highly spiritual. And Akin says, sex is sex, nothing spiritual about it. That's poppycock. And Robin says, so reconstructing a lady's hymen is allowed because they didn't have the foresight to include it in the Bible. Look, Robin, the things I've heard today, I'm hearing them for the first time, just like you have. Okay. So can faith and modern love truly coexist without a compromise now? Can your faith and the way modern love is, where it's like, I love you, love me, let's do this, let's have sex, let's do everything that couples do and pretend like we're, even though we're not married. Can you really be a true Muslim or a true Hindu or a true Christian without compromising nowadays?
It's on high tech speed, man. High
Is
tech
what?
speed.
High tech
It's on
speed.
high tech speed.
Right.
Before you know it, they are throttling down the highway to hell. So I don't
Okay.
know.
Ruth, what do you think?
I've asked the question again because I was looking at Jules and I was trying to figure out what Jules was saying.
Can
Can you say that
faith,
again?
can faith and modern love truly coexist
Coexist.
without compromise?
I'll leave that to you, Gary, because I know that
Gary,
you've got
go
an
ahead
answer to
then.
that already. Yeah.
I believe
think about
yes,
that one.
because two approaches to love can coexist. For example, you can get like a Sikh marry a Muslim. Yeah. And so as long as they're accepting of each other, then of course they can coexist. But no love, in my opinion, no love can exist without acceptance anyway. So you have to you have to be able to be a little bit open-minded and accept the other to hold that true love.
I agree. I agree to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying.
Nice
Absolutely.
one, nice one.
So many
Okay, I'll
different.
take a few chats and then ask the next question then. So Jimmy says, actually, black man is fair says, people are actually tired of talking. LOL, talking has gotten old because people are still confused by people after all these years and after all these talks for 100 years. Talking about sex before marriage, I know people are still confused. Nobody really, still, yeah. But we know what the Bible says. It's just that for human beings, because you have flesh and you have blood through your veins and you get horny, it's difficult sometimes. So that's what people are still saying. Okay, so yeah, still. And Jimmy says, Solomon says no. So in other words, I guess faith and relation, Christian whatever cannot coexist or whatever. Jimmy says there is a pastor in America that married a lady in his church and found out she is a he on the night of the wedding, and he killed the so-called wife out of annoyance.
That's
So
my
I said, yeah,
story.
and he unalived her out of annoyance. Mhm.
Yeah. If he had done a bit of testing, you know, a bit of sex before marriage, he won't get himself killing somebody or unliving her. There are too many things you get to prevent from,
I
Yeah,
think,
if you don't do.
I think
yeah.
that's what I'm saying, coming back to me saying that you should dabble a little bit, you should investigate to a certain extent. Because I
I
remember,
think so. To an extent, you're right.
yeah, I think you should investigate to a certain extent. Because there's many people that I've met and they're together, no sex, no sex, no sex. And it's not only just about the size, not about whether they're he or a she, but it can be also that, for example, I know of a person that married a so-called virgin, and on their wedding they had an STD, and that is why they abstained from.
Whoo, child.
Oh my gosh,
Yes, so
See what we're
that's
talking
bad.
about?
that is really bad. They
And
had
that's the people who are not, they're virgin, but they have HIV, but not the fault, but they contaminated. They
Vision.
got that contact from somewhere else. So if they had some medical checks and intimacy getting into the relationship, they could actually not get to that level.
Let me ask a question to Dikwa. Dikwa, if you're still in the chat, please answer this question because I want to. I'm trying to talk about or go back to what you said about the fact that sex within marriage is what is permitted. And yes, as a Christian, I agree, but also I see the other perspective, and I know it's difficult for women. For me, it was a challenge until I became like completely celibate. But I know what you're talking about. So the question I have is, Dikwa, for a woman, right? What happens when a woman marries a man and maybe the man wasn't honest, like Jimmy said earlier, right? Wasn't honest about certain things, or not, maybe one or the other anyway, wasn't honest. And then they now find out, will you now say that because they are now married and all that, that they should stay in the marriage regardless? Say maybe they found out that either the man that like Ruth said had an STD, or the woman had an STD, or one of them is gay, or whatever it is that would actually be a deal breaker for a relationship. Should they still remain because it's supposed to be? Because I there was one story where they came on social media and the man said, "Listen, yes, I have a small whatever. I didn't tell you, and whatever. But now you're married to me. We're Christians. We're not allowed divorce. You're in for it. Nothing else you can do about it. You can't leave because we're now married." Okay. What would you say to that, Dick? Would you ask? Would you still tell the woman to stay, or you can say, okay, yeah, you can leave because there's dishonesty in this relationship. So
100%.
has built on.
Every single relationship should be about honesty. So if they're dishonest about that,
Yeah.
even that, every single relationship, if you have no honesty in your relationship, regardless if you have sex or not, regardless
It's
of
not
everything.
about size or whether you got STD or the size or whatever, the fact that there was dishonest in the first
The
place.
very
That's
beginning.
the end of the relationship. That's
It
the end.
ends. It ends instantly. I'll walk away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Solomon says, by the way, Akin agrees with you, Gary. He says, well said, Gary. Uh, um, Black Man is Fair says, men just need to know if you are down or not. In other words, I don't know if you're up for it or not, I guess. Solomon says there is faith without money because even the religious people still want comfort. Of course, I mean,
That's
no
true.
romance without finance. Now, have you not heard that song? No romance without finance. Um,
I
and
love
so
a good job.
exactly, I'm not
Hmm.
gonna give just love. Money. Okay. Black Man is Fair says that we are our own gods and now listen to ourselves. I guess in a way we shouldn't be, but that's what mankind does. Now, man tries to interpret and reinterpret the Bible to suit themselves. So I guess that's what you're trying to say now. Which shouldn't be the case because the Bible is very clear about certain things, and we shouldn't try and interpret it, whatever. Someone says, I mean, no, there is no faith without money. Uh, God did not show him. Akin, what are you talking about? Explain yourself. Okay, let me take the other question. There's a lot of guys. I am loving the energy tonight. Okay, so what unique struggles do single parents face when looking for love again? And should I ask Ruth first?
Definitely. I think you lower your expectations when you have children. I've got 3 children, and the thing is, though, you've got to consider your children before you consider anything. But unfortunately, you do lower your expectations because you're thinking, I'm a woman, I've got kids, no one's going to like me or want me because I've got kids, and so you lower your expectations to such an extent that. But at the same time, I mean, with me, my children come first, and my animals, of course. My children come first before anything or anyone. But I've noticed that some women would say, yeah, I've got children, and they're just taking anyone because they don't think anybody else will want them. That's what I find. I find that I'm not like that. I believe that that man should come into when they come into your home after a long time, actually, after you get to know them, after you've built a good relationship, you've built trust, you've built respect, that person includes your children and everything. I think that you can have a relationship, but it's so difficult. I personally consider my children before I have any relationship. If I have a relationship with a person and that person's not taking my package into consideration, then it's a no-go. There's no relationship.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Because I know that we have, I mean, children is considered a package. I mean, they're everything, but
That's
yeah, I get you.
yeah,
Okay. My royals in the chat. I'm looking at the time. It's already an hour and a half, and I don't want to exceed an hour and a half. So, if you want us to have a part two of this, because there's still a lot to talk about,
loads of,
if you
I've
want us
got
to have
so
a
much
part
information.
two next week, please put yes. If you don't want a part two, because there's a lot more that we could talk about. Um, and yeah. So if you want a part two, put yes. If you don't want a part two, we'll leave it here. I'll let Jules and Gary answer the other question, then we can leave it. But there was a lot we were going to talk about tonight. But I'm looking at time now. We've already done an hour and a half. So put it in the chat if you want a part two of it. Then we can continue next week. All right. Put it in the chat. Is yes or no. Jules.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about single parenting. What unique challenges do they have?
Well, first and foremost, I need to have a lady, irrespective of being my companion, should adapt with my kids. There's no two ways about it. Because if the kids are always antagonizing you because of the woman you got in your life, then you ain't going nowhere, man. You will be in a fight until you die. So I don't want to be in that situation. I would rather get a woman that accepts me and accept the kids. And if she does have kids too, I will take the kids and my kids.
You're very unique.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win situation. You need to woo the kids to yourself. Because if you love your mother, you need to love the kids. You need to show them that you are a father to them. And you have to do fatherly things for them to like, oh wow, it's actually measuring up as a dad. And
Okay.
there'll be a smooth transition. If not, it's gonna be hellfire on
Okay.
earth.
Okay.
Hellfire on earth, father, mother, everybody, your kids, her kids. It's gonna be worse than Second World War, you know.
Okay,
Sometimes
Gary.
sometimes the children don't accept the partner. The children make it really, really hard.
Yeah, that's what I
Regardless
say.
of how
You
hard
need to
that
you need before you you start keying in, you introduce the kid to the man or you introduce the kid to the woman. So it's a gradual process. You need to learn that friendliness to exist. Once you start coexisting, leave the rest to God. He will handle the rest for you. But if you don't initiate it nicely, it's going to be catastrophic all the way.
if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
Mm.
Gary.
Sorry. So biggest struggle, trust. So is what both of you touched on. So what Ruth was saying is about lower your expectations, but I think lower your guard. When to lower your guard, or
Right.
when to raise your guard, because your biggest thing as a parent is to protect your children. And another thing Ruth touched on is, I think you both touched on, is package. You do come as a package, and so you need, and so keeping in mind for you to protect that your children, it's when to allow them into the house. Are the children accepting of that partner? There's so many different facets to it. It's but for me, trust is a struggle. It's no,
It's a
because someone
struggle.
can carry on as charming or as nice or as lovely, as wonderful and everything, and then they come anywhere near your children and blow up. And
I'm
so,
gonna have to say it again, my filter thing. But when I was working, a lot of people, stepmom, stepdad, especially stepfathers, would groom, to come into the relationship. You know, the best thing, and then once they were in that relationship, unfortunate things happen. You know, with the children, that sort of thing. So you have to be really careful.
I've been in a relationship myself. Just quickly, I've been in a relationship myself with the woman. Gave me a key to her house, which her 10-year-old son lived with her, and she gave me a key after I think we was together about over not even 6 weeks, and I questioned her, and I did say to her, now I have all the best intentions in the world, and I consider myself a good person, and certainly would behave as such around other people's children or anyone basically. But I did question her. I said, "Are you sure you want to be doing that? Because if it's not me, it could be someone else, and that someone else may not be like me."
They
And
might not have,
I
they might
mean,
not have their best
to give someone
intentions.
a key after 6 weeks to enter your home at any time at their will, and your child is in there, that's not a great thing.
And unfortunate that with the step parent, step mother type thing, it does happen, and it happens a lot. And I see it, and I saw it a lot.
It's nice that she saw me as trustworthy.
Yes, it's
but yet, if she
What about the child?
But then exactly,
you got to put your children first,
exactly.
regardless.
Is
Their safety first.
The child was very much into me as well. But if she goes and does that to the wrong person,
It'll be bad, man.
Yeah, that can end really badly.
Could end badly. Yeah.
Okay, there's so many questions. I did ask you, my royals, and it was only Mr. Solomon that said yes. Do you want this show to have a part 2 for next week? One person said yes. Quite a lot of you in the chat. I need to know because there's so many questions and that are yet unanswered, and I can see your chats coming in thick and fast. So it'll be nice to have a part 2. So what do you say? Please put it in the chat because I'm going to sum up now because it's already half an hour, 1.5 hours. Okay, guys.
It's almost 8 o'clock, you know.
Yeah. So it's 7:30 something now, guys. But please let me know if if you want me to have a repeat. A part 2 of this, right? Because there's so many questions we're going to talk about. Why do people ignore red flags when dating online? Is sex before marriage?
Oh my gosh, I've got so many things about red flags.
What does it really take to find a lasting love in the modern world these days? And all
When
that.
people are lost.
No. I'm not asking you to answer anything. I'm just
No,
saying
we're not answering.
so
I'm just dropping. Yeah.
No, don't drop anything. There's so
Okay.
many questions.
Can we have an end to this and start next week?
That's what I'm asking my royals. It's what they said.
It's already happening. It's already happening. We're heading to next week.
Okay, so if I get a yes from the royals, then we'll do the part 2 of it because there's so many. Okay, so my sum up. First of all, let me just thank my guest again. Let me thank Gary so much for joining and your insights. It's been absolutely amazing. I thank Ruth for being just fantastic. You were nervous before the show, but look at you on fire. Love that. Jules, as always, you're amazing. So thank you so much. Mercy, I know you dropped off because of connection problems and all that, but thank you so much also for joining. So my question then is, just to sum up this before we go is,
I'm going to put some glass on next time so I can look as intelligent as Jules, man. These are not prescription glasses, by the way. That actually hurt. I want to look as intelligent as Jules, man.
Is modern love broken? That's the question we ask. And
yes,
to me, well, you say yes, but I would say no, it isn't love itself. So modern love maybe yes, but love itself is not broken.
Is modern love broken?
Yes, because
there's no modern love. You're starting a different topic right now.
Jules, let me just sum up, and then next week we can continue. But let me say what I have to say so that we can leave. Okay. I don't want an argument. Okay. By the way, listen, the way we chase it is what's broken. So modern love is not broken. Love itself is not broken. But it is the way we chase it, the way we treat it, the way we replace it. That's where the fracture is. Yeah. We've traded patience for instant gratification. We've traded depth for convenience. We've traded values for trends, But love hasn't changed. That's the truth. We have.
Yes.
The hope is this. We can change that again. We can rebuild. Okay? We can love smarter. We can love deeper. We can love wiser if we want to. We can guard our hearts without hardening them. We can demand honesty in a world that's addicted to illusion. We can do that.
Like the Gen Z, yeah?
Yes. So my challenge to you tonight is when we are dating, if you want a relationship, just don't just date. Date with wisdom, date with courage, date with vision. Refuse to settle for a counterfeit version of a connection, where somebody is in a rush to quickly get in the sheets, between the sheets with you or whatever, because they feel, whatever. There's still, I think next week, if the Royals want us to have a part two, we can talk more about this and all that. But I feel some people are actually in a relationship sometimes just because they want that intimacy. It's not because they're really serious, but they will tell you all the best things in the world because they want, once they get what they want, they're out of that. So we can talk about that again if the Royals want us to continue, have a part two of this. But because the thing is, the world doesn't need any more online matches or whatever. It just needs meaningful relationships. It needs meaning, right? It needs people who actually want to be in the relationship for the right reasons, right? So thank you once again to my royals who have joined and all your comments. I am going to save these comments and I'm going to read them again next week because there's a lot of comments that it would be nice to just continue with those comments and then carry on with the conversation next week, right? And if this conversation has sparked something in you, guys, please like, share, and subscribe, right? Your comments in this chat, because remember that the comments that you're making now are not gonna appear in this live because it's a live show. So you need to come back again and make comments on this so that YouTube will really see that people actually engage, because your engagement tonight was fire. It was really electrifying and I really appreciate it. So come back and watch this thing again. And please subscribe and always watch this to the end. For those who are coming back, watch it to the end, right? And the final thing I will say is, let's just start a revolution of real love, right? Not a, one heart at a time kind of, like not or just, was it one fling at a time or whatever, but one heart, real love. Yeah, because we are not just asking the question, is modern love broken? We are standing up to heal. Even if it's broken, we can heal it by the way we approach love and relationships next time. Okay. So guys, I know, Maureen said yes as well. Robin says a part two is always good for a hoot. So definitely now everybody said they want a part two. So we will have a part two next week. And these comments that you have made, I am going to save them. I'm going to copy and save them somewhere and I'm going to repeat them. But I just want to say thank you so much again for my royals for joining. Thank you everyone for joining. Ruth, I love you. Jules, I love you. Gary, I love you. I love Mercy. Thank you all. Thank you, my rose. I love you all. And listen, don't forget the mug. Don't forget the mug. Okay. Invite somebody to the chat. Let them subscribe.
Can I take mine? Can I take mine? I want to take it right now. I'm taking it.
Yes. Okay.
I want to take mine right now. Yeah. It's my house. Yeah, I go.
Right. So yeah, Deborah wants us to have a party. So we're definitely gonna have a party. So guys, next week we'll see you for the part two. I love you all for joining. Thank you once again for joining. Until next time, be bold, be kind, be woke, love with your eyes wide open, guys, right? And be empowered. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Ruth. Bye, Gary.
Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Unlock your true potential. Empower your mind, body, and soul. Live with intentions, live with a purpose. Empower your dreams, make it happen today. No matter your age, rise and shine. Live boldly, live authentically. It's your time to rise and shine. Empower like a Cleopatra, awaken the best version of you. Your journey starts today. You got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you.